Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Andy Malnoske here. It's a first time ever right here, right now. WrestlingInc.com interview flashback from my own personal archives. Got about 10 years of great pro wrestling interviews that are unseen, never before seen for the wrestling audience right here on WrestlingInc.com. So we're going back to 2009, the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame induction weekend. Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, certainly a man known throughout the ranks in pro wrestling and beyond. Wonderful goes in depth about the industry, his favorite moments, and really just some great stuff you got to check out. This is from Amsterdam, New York, about 10 years ago now. It's hard to believe, and I wish I could go back in time, change a few things, maybe my wardrobe a little bit, but it's definitely awesome. Check out this interview flashback from 2009 with Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, only on WrestlingInc.com. Welcome, 2009 Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, sitting next to the one only Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. And I'll tell you this, we're here, it's the meet and greet time here momentarily. But Paul, you're back this year. I mean, what keeps you coming back to the Hall of Fame?
Well, I guess it's because, you know, I never thought of this, Andy. When I started in 1976, I just got through playing football. I was drafted by the New Orleans Saints and was playing ball, and finally I got through with it through the injuries, and you know, I got tired of playing football, if you want to know the truth. And I was sitting on laying down on the floor of my father-in-law's house and turned the TV on, and I just so happened to see wrestling. I watched that for a little bit, and I said, you know something, I could do that. Well, one thing led to another. My father-in-law, do you want to hear all this?
Oh, I do. I do. I think they do as well.
So I talked to my father-in-law, and he was an executive with a life insurance company. And he said, well, I know somebody that knows Eddie Graham, who is the promoter of Florida. So he did. And before I knew it, I had a meeting with Eddie Graham. Well, during this time, he said, okay, just make sure you're in good shape, and we'll give you a tryout at Fort Hesterly Armory, and that's where Florida Championship Wrestling was from. Yeah. So you got to realize, whatever I do, I'm a fanatic.
Right.
You know, I take passion in what I do, and if it's got to do with sports and this and that, or I mean, that's up my alley. Right. I mean, God made me to be a sports player. You know, He didn't make me to be a professor or any of that other crap. And so I had my tryout, and during this tryout, they had Bob Root, who won a silver medalist in Greco-Roman. You had Jack Briscoe, who was the NCAA heavyweight wrestler. You had Bob Backlund, and everybody knows Bob Backlund, especially from New York.
Golden Boy.
And Bob was there. And then they had Hiro Masuda. Now the deal was that I had to wrestle each of those guys for between 8 and 10 minutes.
Oh man.
I wrestled him, boom, 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 and then the last one I wrestled was Hiro Masuda.
And he was the big dog. He was the one that could.
Well, now wait a minute. Do you getting where I'm coming at?
I do. They're putting you through. They're putting you through the gauntlet, so to speak.
Put me through the gauntlet, and I'm not just a normal guy. And what I mean is, I was in shape. I like contact sports, football. I like collisions. I mean, that's why I did it, you know, and I was good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I got drafted by the pros, you know. And so the bottom line is, I did really good.
Yeah.
I mean, now let's face it, you wrestle 4 guys like that, 8 to 10 minutes apiece, that's going to wear you out.
Yeah.
By the time Hiro Masuda got a hold of me, it was tough. But I never gave up.
Right.
So they invited me back the next day.
You keep coming.
They invited me back for about between 6 and 8 months. I went down to the Fort Hesterly Army 5 days a week. and Hiro Masuda and Bob Backlund trained me every day. And I mean, they put me through, can I say hell?
Yeah, absolutely.
They put me through hell. Then finally I got my first match. But they never told me anything other than what they told me the first day.
Right.
I thought I was
throwing out to the wolves, so to speak.
Yeah, but you see, this wolf here is a different kind of wolf. I'm a thoroughbred wolf. You know, I take it serious. I take my passion for this business for 25 years was up here. I mean, I had a passion for it. I loved it. I trained, I respected it, and I did everything that I could to better this business and to help this business and to help me. Because my goal was to be up here someday. Someday. I started off making $15 a match. Travel 300, 400, 500 miles every day for $15. Now think about it.
Yeah, it's not.
Think about it.
Yeah, it's tough.
You see where I'm going to with this?
Where it begins.
And can you imagine the respect you have for it, and that you have to love it, because you can't do it for the money. You have to love what you do. And I did, and that's what I see not happening now. This generation, the guys that are in, you know, the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, the one that I am so thrilled and honored
being inducted this year, by the way, this year, 2009.
That's right here, right now in Amsterdam, New York, tonight, to be in this group of fellas. Because think about it now, with what you see out there now, which is not too good, let's face it. And these guys here molded and made what wrestling what it was. When these guys go,
things will be different.
It's gone. No, it's gone.
It's gone.
This group of fellas, the era that they were in, my era, will be gone. It's lost because this whole new type of whatever you call entertainment, it wasn't like that when I started. You had to prove yourself, you know, and I did. And that's the sad part, is that, you know, that this Hall of Fame is so meaningful to the people who really love wrestling, and the names and the fellas that are in here. At least you get to at least meet some of them here when they're inducted, or you get to go, you know, because they have a museum here.
Yeah, George Steele, he choked me out earlier a few times, so that was a that was.
Well, he always picked on little guys, you know. He was that type of guy. I'm joking.
You know what I mean?
I'm joking. But they have a museum, and you can come and see some of the stuff that were from back in the 1940s.
Enshrined here.
You know, we have a fella here that's 95 years old. He looks great. So, like I said, the sad part is that a lot of us won't be here in 20, 30 years from now, but at least you'll know who they are. Because no matter what, a lot of us, the Gorgeous Georges, the Mr. Wonderfuls, the guys that are in this, that era kind of made and really put wrestling out there to what it is today.
Excellent.
And I'm very honored to be a part of this.
Well, I know that everyone is honored to have you here. I know I'm blessed to be talking with you right now. I really am. And two things I want to mention here before we get you back to the fans here in a few minutes.
Sure.
Is that you had one of the best physiques in pro wrestling. I mean, obviously that goes back to your training.
Let's do it right. Who had a better one?
Who had a better one?
Who?
I don't think anybody did, personally.
So then
that's it.
You should say that I had
the best physique,
the most wonderful body out there.
You did too. You're a lot better than mine right now, I'll tell you. But and also number two is that obviously one of the biggest rivals you had was Hulkamania. You taking on Hulk Hogan. That Florida, I guess, mentality coming back up. You guys were, really just kind of had that high school type thing. Always kind of one up each other time top each other.
Right.
And you go back to that steel cage match back in the 80s, Saturday Night's Main Event, 87, I believe. Now, who really won that? I think close. You look back on that, it looks like Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, might have came out on top.
Well, unless you're a complete idiot, I won it.
Yeah.
But you got to realize, you know, in this life and in your life, and you'll see, Andy, that timing is everything. The pencil is everything. He had the pencil, the timing was right. I believe I had better talent. I had the better body. I just didn't kiss nobody's ass to get where I was.
Right.
And that's the difference between me and a lot of people. I earned it, and they couldn't deny me.
Right.
So,
Being relentless, so to speak, right?
exactly.
That's all.
And that's how you got to be. And that's the way this country used to be. But as you can see what's going on now in our government and everything there, it's just going down and down and down.
Certainly.
You know, somebody's got to get some guts or whatever you want to call it.
Let's get the intestinal fortitude.
And,
right, so to
exactly.
speak. So to
And
speak.
let's get this country where it belongs again.
I hear you.
Not where it's going, but where it belongs.
I'll say this, Paul, that we got people like yourself here, and pro wrestlers in the future. This is the perfect man to be found, the perfect example right here in 2009. And before we go, this is actually one of the things I was just thinking about going through my head here, is that what an honor it would be to just do this with Paul Orndorff. I don't know, could that be possible?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyone checking this out right now, this is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Check it out. Check it out.